Hello everybody, welcome to Core Yoga. My name is Erica and I'm with UMBC Recreation. If you're new to this class or you've never taken a yoga class before, we work on making a flow out of the poses. So what we do on one side, we'll repeat on the other, and we work to tie those poses in with our breath. All the while we're toning and working on our core. We'll start with the slow warm-up. We'll start to pick up some heat in the body, really start working out the core, and then we'll slow everything down and take a nice rest on our back to end everything. Before I get started, I want to remind everyone to always listen to your body. Please don't let your ego get in the way of your practice. Take breaks when you need to. Listen to your body, take care of yourself, and always make sure to check with the physician before you start any new exercise regimen. So to start today, we're going to stand at the top of our mat. Keep feet hip width distance apart. Stand up nice and tall with purpose, palms facing forward. Take some nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's bring in a shoulder roll, drawing shoulders up to the ears and then rolling them down the back. Loosening up those shoulders. In reverse direction. And find stillness. Lift your left arm up to the ceiling, reach through the fingertips, and take a side bend. Pressing firmly into the left foot, sending the left hips out to the left edge of the mat. We'll rise back to standing and lower the arm down by our side. Right arm up, reach through those fingertips and add a side bend, getting a nice stretch for the sides of our core. Breathing into the chest. Then bringing the arm up to ceiling and lowering down to our sides. Place your hands on your hips and heel toe your feet apart until you're standing off of your mat. You want a nice wide stance with the toes facing away from one another. Then slowly bend the knees into goddess pose, stacking ankles over knees and sending hips down to the floor. Keeping the chest long and tall to the ceiling. Lengthening our spines, opening our hips, getting a stretch on the side of the body. Straighten the legs and turn the toes slightly in towards one another. Hinge forward at the hips. Bring your hands down to your knees in sort of a half lift variation. So back is flat, gaze is down towards the floor. And now we're lengthening our spines. Maybe you feel a little stretch on the back side of the legs. Bring hands back to hips. Rise back to standing. Turn the toes away from one another once again. As we exhale, we'll bend the knees back into goddess, sending hips down towards the floor. Refrain from tilting your tailbone up to the ceiling. Send it long down towards the mat. Straighten the legs, turn the toes in, and hinge forward into half lift. Hands come down to the knees. Nice long spines. Bring hands to hips, rise to standing. Heel toe the feet back to the center of the mat until they're hip width distance apart. Then lower hands down by your sides. Take a deep breath in through the nose, lift arms overhead. Exhale out through the mouth into forward fold. So bend the knees, drop your belly to your thighs. Let your arms and your head hang towards the floor. Shift the weight into the balls of the feet. Keep the hips reaching high towards the ceiling and low belly drawing in. If you find that your belly is rounded quite far away from your thighs, you don't want to compromise your low back. So bend the knees and drop your belly down towards the thighs. Rise back to half lift, flattening the back. Step back into a plank position. Drop the knees to tabletop. Uncurl the toes so top of the feet are on the mat. Lift up to the fingertips and round the spine into cat pose, tucking chin to chest. Then lift and arch the spine, gazing up to ceiling. Exhale to cat pose, round the spine. Inhale to cow, lift and arch. Last time, exhale, round the spine. Draw the breath in to arch. Then relax back to a neutral spine. Hands flat to the mat. Extend your right leg behind you, flexing the foot so you're pressing out through the heel, which is in line with the hip. Nice flat back. Draw the belly in and extend your left arm forward into sunbird, thumb facing up towards the ceiling. We're holding here as we start to warm up our core. We're also challenging our balance. Maybe you feel a little wobbly. Gaze down towards your mat. Keep the spine nice and long. And keep the leg raised and bring just the hand to the mat. Lift up to the tips of the fingers and begin to point through the toes, so now toes are pointed. Give me a crunch, drawing knee to chest, rounding the spine, lifting the knee as high as you can, drawing the belly in, and stepping the foot into lunge, ankle below the knee. If you need some help, you can grab your foot and place it into alignment. Draw the breath in through your nose, lift both arms overhead. Exhale out through the mouth, lower hands down to the floor. Breath in through the nose, right arm lifts to the ceiling. We'll hold and exhale here. Really twist from your belly. Maybe take your upraised hand on your belly and help twist the belly and the ribs up to the ceiling, keeping the right foot flat to the mat. Then bring that arm straight back up to the sky. Gaze is up. Belly's drawing in. As we exhale out through the mouth, fingertips come down to the mat. Extend your right leg back behind you, point through the toes, draw belly in, and return to tabletop. Hands come flat. Left leg extends, press out through the heel, draw belly in, extend right arm forward, thumb up to ceiling, gaze down to the mat. Try not to hold the breath. Just the hand comes down, we'll point through the toes and lift up to the fingertips. Give me a crunch, knee to chest, round that spine, lift that knee high and step the foot into lunge. Breath in through the nose, lift arms overhead. Breath out through the mouth, fingertips down to the floor. Another breath in, lifts the left arm to ceiling, and we hold here. If you gave yourself an assist on the other side, do the same here, twisting the belly and the ribs, and then lift that arm back overhead. On your exhale, fingertips come down to the floor. Extend your left leg behind you, point through the toes, and return to tabletop. Settle into puppy pose, elbows down to the mat, palms face down, and head relaxes. Lift out of the shoulders, so press away from the mat. This is option 1 for your rest pose throughout the class. Option 2 is to come into child's, bringing the toes together, sending hips to heels, and keeping the knees separate. Forehead rests on the mat. We'll take child's pose several times throughout the class. If you're uncomfortable in this pose for any reason, rise back to puppy pose instead. We'll finish our warm-up here with a moment of stillness, deepening the breath, and taking advantage of the stillness in our body before we start to really put in some work. Slowly rise to a tabletop position and lift up to the fingertips. Extend your left leg behind you, point through the toes, draw belly in. Give me a crunch, knee to chest, step the foot into lunge. Tuck right toes onto the mat and lift the knee in the air. Lift up to the pointer and middle finger, draw belly in. Step up to half lift, right foot steps up to meet the left. Lifting to a flat back, gaze is down to the floor. Lower to forward fold, belly comes down to the thighs. And one vertebrae at a time, we'll rise up into a standing position. Once you make it up to standing, give me a deep breath in through the nose, lifting arms overhead, and then exhale the hands together down through heart center and down at your sides. So now we're going to move into our sequence. We're going to start to pick up the pace and really turn on the core. So every week we have a new plank sequence. I'm going to demo first time through, and then we'll take it together as we tie it into our practice. So just watch me the first time through so you guys know what we're doing for the rest of the class. So as I promised, it's a plank sequence, so we're going to start in a plank position. Heels in line with hips, in line with shoulders. No low hips, no really high hips. Find the perfect middle. Even if you've done plank 1,000 times, look back and check your alignment. I'm spreading my fingers wide, I'm lifting out of my shoulders, my belly's on, my core is on, my thighs are active, my shoulders are active. Everything's turned on in plank. So I'll always give us a countdown and a heads up when it's coming. I'll say plank sequence in 3, 2, 1. Today we're going to take a bear stance. So we're not going to take the crawl, we're going to take the bear stance. I'm going to walk my toes in, walk my toes in. So my knees are underneath my hips and they're hovering off the floor. Then I'm going to tap, right hand to left knee. I'm going to tap, left to right, and I'm going to step out. We're going to do that 3 times total. So in real time, we'll step in, tap, and tap. Step out. Step in, tap, tap, step out. After the 3rd time, we're going to lower down to a forearm plank. Same thing with the alignment here. We'll hold for 5 seconds, and then we'll release to the floor. And we'll take the sequence from there. So we'll do that a few times, and I'll give you guys some options to amp it up if you feel like you want to kick things up a notch. If you're already like, that looks kind of hard, perfectly okay, I suggest that you skip the taps and just hold the bear crawl steady. If that even becomes tired to you, drop your knees to the mat at any time. So now let's start. We're going to tie that into our sequence with some modified Sun Salutations. Start at the top of your mat with feet, hips width distance apart. Stand nice and tall with purpose, out through the crown of your head. Take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Slowly lift the arms overhead, gaze up to ceiling. Lower to fold, belly to thighs. Rise half lift, flatten your back. Step back into a plank position. We'll start our first set in 3, 2, 1. Step in, tap, tap, and step out. Step in, tap, tap, step out. You guys got it. Step in. Give me 2 taps and step out. Take your forearm plank. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Place your hands underneath your shoulders, finger or elbows up to the ceiling, and legs together. Lift the chest to baby cobra, shoulders roll behind the heart. Make sure you're not pressing into your hands here. Now press into the hands for child's pose or puppy, whatever you choose for your rest, and take a moment of stillness here. Slowly rise back to tabletop. Lift up to the fingertips and extend your right leg behind you, point through the toes. Give me a crunch, knee to chest, step the foot into lunge. Lift the left knee off the mat, lift up to pointer and middle finger, and step up to half lift, flatten the back. Lower to fold, belly to thighs, and slowly rise up to standing. One vertebrae at a time. Let your chin lift from the chest last. We're going to do that 2 more times. Lift the arms overhead, nice and slow. And lower to fold, belly to thighs. There's no rush. Rise to half lift, flatten your back, and step into plank. If you're uncomfortable with plank on your wrist, you can come into the fist instead. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Step in, tap, and tap. Step out. Step in, tap, tap, step out. Last time, step in, give me some taps, step out. Come to forearm plank, hold for 5, don't hold your breath, and release. Hands under shoulders and legs together. Lift the chest, baby cobra, and press to your rest position, perhaps child's. Slowly rise to tabletop and lift up to the fingertips. Extend your left leg behind you, draw the belly in and give me a crunch, knee to chest, and step the foot into lunge. Right knee lifts off the mat. Step up to half lift. Lower to fold. And slowly rise to standing. Take your time. Last time through, we lift the arms overhead. We exhale to fold. We rise to half lift. And we step into plank. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Step in. Tap, tap. Step out. Step in. Tap, tap. Step out. Last time, step in. Give me the taps. Step out. Come to forearm plank. If you want to amp up your plank sequence, take some hip dips here in your forearm plank. Rolling over on the toes, sending hips side to side. Don't feel obligated. We'll lower and release to the floor, elbows up to ceiling. Breathe in to lift the chest, and exhale to child's, hips to heels. We're picking up our heart rate, so we're going to rise right back to tabletop. Very short rest that time. We'll have some more later. Lift up to your fingertips. Extend your right leg behind you. Give me a crunch into lunge. And step up to half lift. Flat back. Lower to fold, belly to thighs. And slowly rise to standing. Deep breath in through the nose, arms up. Exhale, hands together and down through heart center. Again, deep breath in, arms up. Exhale, hands together. Last time, deep breath in, arms up. This time, exhale to forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale as we step back into plank and drop the knees to tabletop. We're going to lift up to the fingertips and prepare for some crunches. If you'd like to amp up your crunches on your knees, try with your hands flat. It's up to you. If you try one way and it doesn't work out for you, you can always go back to how we were doing it before. No pressure. Extend your left leg behind you, pointing through the toes. Give me a crunch, knee to chest. Inhale and extend the leg again. Exhale to crunch, knee to chest. Lift that knee a little higher this time. Inhale, extend the leg. Exhale to crunch. We're going to hold here, but don't hold the breath. Keep that knee nice and high. Draw the belly back towards the spine and step the foot into lunge. Lift up to the fingertips if you're not there already, and lift your right knee off the mat, lifting up to pointer and middle finger. Take your hands to your thighs And then extend your arms overhead into Anjaneyasana. Left knee is stacked over the ankle. We're on the ball of the right foot. Deep breath into the chest. Open into 5-pointed star, so open to face the right side of the mat. Feet are flat and arms lowered down to shoulder height. And just lower your arms all the way down by our sides. Heel toe your feet in so you're more in a comfortable, sturdy standing position. You can press firmly into all 4 corners of both feet. Shift all the weight into the right leg. So you have 2 options here for our crunches. We're going to shift all the weight into our right leg, and we're going to lift our right arm overhead. So option 1, you're going to challenge your balance by just lifting up to the tip of your toes of your left foot, and then bringing elbow to knee and knee to elbow before stepping back to start. If you're challenged with your balance a little bit, you can slide the toes over and then bring elbow to knee, knee to elbow. Bring the toes down and slide the foot back out. Whatever works for you. We're going to take about 4 crunches on each side. All the weight should be in your right leg. Right arm's up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in through your nose. As you exhale, give me a crunch. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Exhale. Come back to start and lower the hand down by your side. Raise your arms to shoulder height. Left foot turns to face the front of the mat. We'll windmill our arms down to lunge, so we're lifting the right heel off the mat back into a lunge position. Step back into plank. And we'll start our plank work in 3, 2, 1. Step in, tap, and tap. Step out. Step in. Give me the taps. Step out. Last time. Step in. Tap those knees. Step out. Forearm plank. We're holding here. You can take those hip dips if you're opting to do so. And release. Inhale to lift the chest. And exhale to child's. Here's your rest here. Deepen your breath. Take advantage of the stillness. Slowly rise back to tabletop. Hands flat or you're lifting up to the tips of the fingers for our crunch. Extend your right leg behind you. Crunch knee to chest and step the foot into lunge. Lift left knee off the mat and step up to half lift as you breathe in. Lower to fold as you exhale. And try to draw your inhale out as you rise back to standing. Exhaling at the top. Let's finish up on the opposite side. Deep breath in, arms overhead. Exhale to fold, belly to thighs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale as you step back into plank and drop the knees to tabletop. Preparing for some crunches. Extend your left leg behind you. Exhale to crunch, knee to chest. Inhale to extend. Exhale to crunch. Inhale, last time. Exhale to crunch, hold it here, don't hold the breath. Lift that knee a little higher, I know you can. And step the foot into lunge. Lift up to the tips of the fingers. Ooh, excuse me. We did it on the wrong side. We did all those crunches. We need to be on the right side. So, hate to say, but now we have to do 6 crunches on the other side to make up for my mistake. Extend your right leg behind you. You guys got it. Exhale to crunch. Inhale to extend. Exhale to crunch. Inhale, keep it going. I know some of you guys were like, what? Why are we doing this side again? Here's 4. Give me an exhale. You guys got it. I'm breaking a sweat. I hope you guys are too. Last one. Give me a crunch. Hold it here. We're working out. We got it. And step our foot into lunge. Lift our left knee off the mat. And slowly lift the arms overhead. Hands to thigh and arms straight up. Deep breath into the chest. Open to the left side of the mat into 5-pointed star and lower your arms down by your side. Stay where you are. This time we're going to shift all the weight into our left leg and bring our left arm overhead. Whichever option you took on the opposite side, do here. Give me a nice deep breath in. Exhale, elbow to knee, knee to elbow. Back to start, breath in. Exhale. 2 more, exhale. Last one. Lower arms down by your sides. And then lift the arms to shoulder height. Right foot turns forward to face the front of the mat. Windmill the arms down to lunge. Left heel lifts off the mat. Step back into plank, preparing for our sequence in 3, 2, 1. Step in. Give me the taps. Take breaks if you need. Step in. Give me taps. And step out. Last time. We only got 1 set after this. I promise. Step out. Forearm plank. Holding for 5. And release. Let go. We're doing it. Inhale to lift the chest. And exhale to child's. Take a much needed rest. Slowly rise to tabletop. Preparing for a crunch. Extend your right leg behind you. And crunch into lunge. Ankle below knee. Step up to half lift as you breathe in. Exhale to lower to fold. And inhale as you rise to standing. Take both hands to your heart, lower your chin to your chest. Maybe close the eyes. Just take a moment here. Bring your focus to the rate of your heartbeat, to the pace of your chest. In a yoga practice, it's not just about the body, but it's what's inside. Lower your arms down by your sides and lift your chin from your chest. Deep breath in through the nose, lift arms overhead. We'll exhale to fold belly to thighs. And draw the inhale out as we rise up to standing 1 vertebrae at a time. A little slower than we've done the rest of the class. Take your time. We're slowing down our movement. Next, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to folds, belly to thighs. And roll the spine back to standing nice and slow. Taking your time, slowing it down. Last time through, deep breath in, arms up. Exhale to fold, belly to thighs. Rise to half lift. And step back into plank. Here's our last set here. I promised you guys 1 last set. It's coming in 3, 2, 1. Step in, tap, tap, and step out. Only 2 more. Step in, and then we're done with these. Tap, tap, step out. Who's happy? Step in. Give me a tap, tap, and step out. Forearm plank. We aim to hold the last one for 15 seconds. You're more than welcome to plop down to your belly now. No one's judging you. We've worked really hard. If you're still holding on with me, that's awesome too. We're still holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Bring your arms along the sides of your body, palms face up. Turn your head to one side so you can rest on your cheek. Give me a nice deep breath in through the nose, and as you exhale out through the mouth, just melt onto the mat. The floor's got you. There's no need to hold on. Just let the body go. Take advantage of this short rest period. Go ahead and turn your head to the opposite side. Bring your chin to the mat, place your hands underneath your shoulders so you can press into child's pose. Taking a rounded variation this time with arms along the sides of the body, palms face up and forehead to mat. Nice and slow, we'll rise to a seated position. Swing the legs out front so they're down the length of the mat with our feet flexed. Lengthen your spine towards the ceiling. Drop your chin to chest. Lift your arms up to the sky and round the spine into rounded back stretch. Spine rounds, hands come down to the knees and elbows point out to the sides like elephant ears. Relax the shoulders down and away from the ears. And focus on the breath. Allowing the muscles around the spine to relieve any tension and stress they might be holding. It's normal to feel a lot of sensation in this pose. Just breathe through it. Easing up a little bit if you find you can't take deep breaths. Nice and slow, we'll lift the spine upright into staff pose, placing hands on either sides of our hips and lengthening the spine up to the ceiling before we relax to neutral. Bend your right knee, placing your foot on the mat. Use your left arm to hold on to this knee and then twisting from the belly and then the ribs, finally the chest. We'll place our right fingertips directly behind us and gaze to the back of the mat. Slowly untwist, facing back to the front of the mat and straightening the leg. Left knee bends, right arm holds on, twisting from belly, twisting from ribs, and then the chest, placing the fingertips down to the mat. Slowly untwist and return to the front of the mat, straightening the leg. Make sure you're sitting in the center of your mat if you're not already. Bend the knees, planting feet to the floor. Place your hands on the back side of your thighs and roll down until you're flat on your back. And straighten the legs onto the mat. And just take a second here in stillness. We put a lot of work in our body. We'll prepare the body for our final resting pose. Draw the right knee in towards your chest into Uttanasana, feet flexed, interlacing the fingers holding below the knee, pulling the thigh close to body. If that's uncomfortable on your knee, you can hold on to the back of your thigh instead. Take a few breaths here. My eyes sort of naturally close as I know we're we're nearing the end of our practice. Maybe your eyes would like to close too. Gently release your hold, returning your leg to the mat. Draw left knee in towards the chest, flexing the feet, holding below the knee or on the back of the thigh. And release, leg to the mat. Draw both knees in towards the chest now, feet side by side, again holding below the knees or on the back of the thigh. Creating some length in the low back. Grab onto the outer edges of the feet. Lift the soles of the feet up to the ceiling and then open the knees into happy baby. Knees draw out towards the armpits, ankles stay stacked over the knees. Knees send down towards the floor. This is a pose sometimes we let our ego step in and get in the way. So close your eyes, maybe if you need to. Just focus on the sensation, not the way that the pose looks. Then draw the knees back together at the center of your chest, lowering heels back down towards the glutes. Place your hands on the back of the thighs and extend the legs up to the ceiling, stacking ankles over the hips. We're going to stay here for about 30 seconds for an inversion today. If you feel uncomfortable having the legs extended, maybe it's just not comfortable for the legs, or you feel like you're straining to keep the legs up, you can bend the knees, bringing the thighs closer to the body instead. Still getting the same benefits of the inversion, just finding some ease in the legs. We put in a lot of work today. We picked up our heart rate, maybe we broke a sweat. And so we take an inversion to help relax our nervous system, calm the body. We've got another 10 seconds or so here. And we'll draw the knees in towards our chest, lowering heels down towards the body. Place your arms along the floor at shoulder height, palms face up. Let the knees fall to the right side of the floor into reclined spinal, turning your head to the left. Our last pose before final resting pose. Lift the knees back through center and let them fall over to the left as you turn your head to the right. Draw the knees back to center for the final time, wrapping your arms around the legs, pulling them close to your body. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose, lift your head to meet your knees, hold your breath here, squeeze everything tight, fingers, toes, legs, face. And as you exhale out through the mouth, we'll relax, releasing the body to lay flat on the mat, spreading our arms and our legs far apart, palms face up to the ceiling and eyes are closed. Take a deep breath in through your nose, fill up the body with breath. As you exhale out through the mouth, relax completely onto the mat. Relax your brow, your shoulders, your chest and belly. Relax your hips, your thighs, even your calves and your feet. Bring your focus to your breath. And continue following the rise and fall of your chest, helping you remain relaxed for the next 2 minutes or so. Giving your body a much needed rest. Begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Welcome movement back to the body. Then gently roll over to the right side of your body, taking a moment of stillness on your side, using your arm to support your head. Keeping your eyes closed or your gaze low to the floor, slowly press yourself up into a comfortable seated position. As always, to end class, we'll take 3 cleansing breaths together as one. That's breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're going to add some movement to our breathing today. On our exhale, we'll round our spine, tucking our chin to the chest. On the inhale, we'll lift an arch, lifting our head up to the sky. So let's all start with a roundness, drawing the belly in, drawing out all the breath we have in the body, dropping chin to chest. We'll inhale through the nose, filling belly, ribs, and chest, arching the spine, tilting our head up to the ceiling. Exhaling out through the mouth, returning to a roundness in the spine. Inhale, filling the body with breath as we arch the spine and lift the head. Exhale to draw the belly in, round the spine, and drop chin to chest. Last time, inhaling to arch. Exhaling to round. And returning to a neutral spine. Give thanks to your body and your mind for getting you through this practice, your patience, your determination. And I'd like to thank you for letting me lead you on this practice today. Namaste. So thanks, you guys. I know that was challenging. I hope it was challenging, but I enjoyed teaching it. I hope you enjoyed taking the class. If you enjoyed this class, I teach this style every Wednesday. A new class is released at 8 a.m. every Wednesday. If you want something a little less demanding on the body, I also teach a Vinyasa yoga class. Another lovely class, I must say, that is released every Monday at 8, so check that class out too. Please don't forget to follow UMBC Rec on Instagram to keep up with all of our new content and classes, a lot of amazing teachers, awesome classes to take. We also have a YouTube channel, UMBC Rec TV. I hope you guys follow, tune in, leave comments, give us feedback. We'd love to hear it. Thanks so much.